breaking. After a US carrier strike group moved into the Caribbean last month, tensions with Venezuela have jumped to their highest point in years. At 6:03 a.m., the calm water south of Curaçao turns into a live crisis. Without warning, 39 Venezuelan patrol ships rush across the sea at 28 knots, forming a hard wall directly in the path of the US carrier group led by the USS George Washington. On the flight deck, movement stops as collision alarms blast across steel. Radar shows the contacts spread wide, not a small probe, but a full blockade. Inside the combat center, operators watch the screen fill with red targets. Someone says what everyone already feels. This is not shadowing. This is a blockade. Instead of slowing down, the Venezuelan ships push even harder. Their bows cut white water, their formation tight and deliberate. This is a clear message, and it is sent in the most dangerous way possible. And they have no idea they are pushing against the wrong force. If you want to follow this moment by moment, hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. What happened at 6:03 a.m. was not just another tense moment at sea. It was the direct result of a real shift in the region. When the US moved a full carrier strike group into the Caribbean last month, it changed the balance of power overnight. Venezuela called it a threat. Washington called it routine. But every sailor in the region knew things were heating up fast. So when 39 Venezuelan patrol ships rushed toward the carrier path, the move was not random. It was a test, a message. A push to see how far they could go without crossing the line into open conflict. The location made it even more serious. The waters south of Curaçao are narrow, crowded, and watched by every radar within hundreds of miles. It is a place where mistakes spread quickly. A wrong turn can become an international headline before a ship even slows down. This is why the US carrier was there in the first place. To show presence, to reassure partners, and to keep the region stable as Venezuela grows more aggressive over the Essequibo dispute. For the sailors on the carrier deck, this was not about politics or strategy memos. They saw real steel closing fast, 39 hulls moving like a single wall. At 28 knots, a patrol ship covers distance in seconds. At 20 knots, a carrier cannot simply stop or dodge. That mixed speed, mass, and pride creates the kind of danger that keeps commanders awake at night. And that danger cuts both ways. Venezuela used numbers, hoping a large show of force would pressure the US into turning away. But numbers mean little when the formation is uneven and the command structure is shaky. A small mistake inside a 40-ship cluster can create a collision. And a collision can trigger claims, anger, and the kind of political firestorm both nations say they want to avoid. So this moment mattered. It showed the world what happens when a rising power tries to push a superpower in tight waters. It showed how quickly a signal can turn into a close call. And it proved that the next move on either side will decide where this new tension is heading. At 6:05 a.m., USS Gravely pushes forward, breaking from the carrier's side as the first real response begins. Inside the combat center, the calm mood shifts fast. Screens tighten with red icons. Operators speak in short, clipped lines. Contacts inside 10 miles, still 28 knots. The captain answers, visible posture only, no targeting. On deck, the Mark 45 gun turns a few degrees, slow and deliberate. Below, sailors pull into stations. A radar tech watches the contacts closing and quietly says, someone out there wants this push. He knows how thin the line is between a warning and a disaster. Behind them, the carrier's flight deck comes alive. Chains snap off the MH-60R Seahawk as crews move with tight, trained steps. Razor 2-1 cleared to launch. The helo rises into warm air and banks toward the formation. Its infrared camera locks on first 39 hulls spreading wide, forming a wall across the carrier's path. They're in blockade posture, the operator reports. The helo circles with the sun at its back, making its presence impossible to ignore. Back on Gravely, the phalanx CIWS hums to life. Not a threat, but a reminder. The ship is ready. One sailor notices his hand shaking as he grips a rail. He forces himself to steady his breath. At these speeds, one mistake closes the gap in seconds. Range 8.6 miles, the surface officer calls. Hold intercept, the captain replies. Gravely stays between the carrier and the incoming line. The carrier itself does not shift a single degree. That silence sends a clear message. We are not turning. You pushed first. The Seahawk circles again. 39 wakes, 39 hulls, a formation too tight for comfort. The pilot mutters, "They're really holding that wall." Down in CIC, tension rises. A tech says under his breath, "If anyone drifts the wrong way, this whole thing blows up." It isn't fear, it's reality at sea. The US formation stays calm, destroyer ahead, carrier behind, helo above. No panic, no fast moves, just steady posture against a force that believes numbers can break discipline. Since this standoff could flip with one wrong turn, tell me what you'd choose. Press 1 to hold course or 9 to pull back. At 6:08 a.m., the situation sharpens. The Seahawk reaches the front of the Venezuelan line, and the view from above shows the full scale of the threat. 39 ships, wide enough to block the carrier's path and tight enough to make any mistake deadly. The pilot says, "They're holding that wall," and the words carry a weight everyone below can feel. Inside Gravely's combat center, radar sweeps flash like pulses. Each scan shows the same thing: the distance closing, the formation tightening, and no hint of them backing away. The surface officer reports, range 5.4 miles. The room goes even quieter. One navigator murmurs, almost to himself, "In close encounters, even 5 degrees can decide everything." Gravely surges forward, bow on, acting as the shield between the carrier and the blockade. Outside, the only sounds are the ocean and the constant whine of the turbines. The Venezuelan ships do not drift. They do not break formation. If anything, they move with even more purpose. The destroyer captain watches the plot and speaks calmly. "Keep our bow straight. Do not drift. Do not give them an angle." Second stretch. The Seahawk's infrared feed shows heat blooming from every Venezuelan ship. 39 bright signatures, and none of them slowing. The pilot circles again. No targeting radar yet, but they know we see them. On Gravely, the phalanx CIWS adjusts a few degrees and sunlight glints off the spinning barrels. It's not a threat, but it is a warning. A very clear one. Then the tension spikes. A sudden electronic burst hits Gravely's sensors. The EW officer stiffens. Possible fire control spike bearing 215. For 2 long seconds, no one speaks. No one even breathes. Then the signal drops away as fast as it came. "False reading," the officer says, but the message is already felt. One real spike, and the entire region could go into open conflict. The sailors feel it too. One operator steadies his hands by placing them on the console. Another adjusts her headset even though nothing is wrong. These small movements say what no one wants to admit out loud. This is the closest they've come to a real break in years. Outside, the water seems to tighten around both sides. One massive carrier group, 39 fast patrol ships, all moving through a narrow stretch of sea as if locked together in a dangerous dance. Someone whispers, "They're not backing down," and the captain answers immediately, "Neither are we." The Seahawk makes another pass. The line below has not shifted an inch. Every ship holds its place. Every wake cuts the same angle. Venezuela is pushing this as far as they can, hoping pressure alone might force the us to blink. But the us formation holds steady, calm, controlled, intentional, and the next minutes decide everything. And since this standoff is now hanging on one question, tell me, would you press 1 to stand firm or 9 to pull the group away before this turns into something bigger? At 6:12 a.m., the standoff reaches its tightest point. The range closes to 4 miles and Gravely sends another warning. "Venezuelan naval vessels, you are approaching a restricted formation. Alter course now." The reply snaps back, tense and sharp. "You are entering our security zone. Reduce speed immediately." While the radio exchange continues, a more important shift begins on the water. The once solid wall of 39 Venezuelan ships is no longer steady. One ship slows slightly, another drifts offline, a third angles inward before correcting. Small mistakes, but in a formation this large, small mistakes reveal cracks. The Seahawk's infrared feed confirms it. Spacing is uneven. Wake lines no longer match. Some captains push ahead while others hesitate. The operator says their alignment is slipping. In moments like this, hesitation is as dangerous as aggression. It means not everyone is following the same plan. Gravely's captain sees it too. He studies the radar and says quietly, "They're losing control of their line." It is not a retreat, but it is the first sign the blockade cannot hold under pressure. On the carrier's bridge, the strike group commander watches the formation shift again. Several ships ease off throttle almost at the same time. The pattern is clear. The push is weakening. Some captains want to move forward, but others are already pulling away. Those small breaks create the first real turn of the encounter. The US formation now knows the pressure is working. The other side is starting to blink. So tell me what you think happens next. Press 1 if you believe the line will break, or 9 if you think they will push one more time. At 6:18 a.m., the shift everyone felt coming finally happens. The Venezuelan formation, once pushing hard at 28 knots, drops to 20. It isn't a full retreat, but the tone of the sea changes. Their wakes flatten, their engines cool, and from above, the Seahawk crew sees the first clear signs. Multiple ships easing east, the pilot reports. Inside Gravely's combat center, no one relaxes. Maintain course, keep recording, the captain says. Behind them, the carrier continues straight with zero change in heading. That steady line forces Venezuela to choose: hold their wall or peel away. The answer appears in small steps. One Venezuelan ship angles east, another copies it, then several more follow. Not fast, not dramatic, but enough to show the blockade is falling apart. Gaps open on radar where a tight line had been minutes earlier. Gravely's captain studies the shifts. "They're breaking," he says, calm but certain. On the carrier's bridge, the commander responds with one short line: "Keep steady. We don't reward bluffs." Every sailor understands what that means. Do not move and do not blink. The Seahawk circles overhead, recording the slow collapse. 39 ships that once formed a solid wall now drift into loose clusters. Some turn east-southeast, some fall farther behind. The path in front of the carrier begins to clear. Below, operators log every course change and speed drop. They know how close this came. A bad radar spike or one nervous captain could have pushed both sides into something far worse. At 6:23 a.m., the break is final. The Venezuelan ships now run parallel to their coastline, widening the gap beyond 6 miles. Gravely holds its position until all contacts shift away. The Seahawk returns last, landing on the carrier as sunlight spreads across the deck. The crew knows what really happened. 39 ships tried to block them, but the carrier group held firm. So if you were the one watching that final turn, would you press 1 to stay on course or 9 to reposition before the next move? By 6:30 a.m., the carrier group returns to its normal formation. The last Venezuelan ships still trace the coastline but keep their distance. Gravely holds position until every contact shifts away, and only then does the bridge begin to ease. Minutes later, the Seahawk lands, its rotors slowing as the crew finally exhales. By 6:45 a.m., the sea looks calm, but the sailors know what really happened. 39 ships tried to block a US carrier. They pushed hard and moved like a wall, but under steady pressure, their line cracked. No shots, no collisions, just discipline holding firm against a risky show of force. The fallout goes beyond the water. Analysts will see Venezuela use numbers, not tight coordination. Their spacing slipped when tension rose. Some captains pushed, others backed off. In a narrow sea, that kind of drift is dangerous and could have sparked a crisis. The US posture will be noted too. A destroyer shielding the carrier, a helo recording everything, and a carrier that never turned. It wasn't about pride, it was about sending a clear message to anyone watching. For Venezuela, the move may sound bold, but the result is obvious. They blinked first, and that will shape the next round of regional strategy. This encounter proves how fast a tense sea can turn into a near crisis. This time, both sides stepped back. Next time, the window might be smaller. So tell me, after seeing how close this came, would you press 1 to keep this firm posture or 9 for a different approach next time?